You can feel that when they don't have the cross face and you have the underhook, you're in a pretty good spot, right? So you can feel like you can take the back, there's sweeps, there's lots of things you can do. They can feel that too. And the most common thing they're gonna do is whizzer. Just common sense, especially if they have wrestling, but Jiu-jitsu, whatever, that's the counter. Okay, so I'm here. A whizzer is an overhook. Wrestling name for an overhook, okay? So, hang on. I'm here, he bumps and gets that underhook back. I'm gonna immediately do this. Okay, that's just the most common thing. I'm gonna wrap up underneath, and then I'm gonna try and keep him flat again. That's gonna be my reaction. Now, he's got a couple things to watch for. If I come too deep here, he's gotta watch for the darce choke. But first of all, he's just gotta defend against getting flattened out and me controlling the position because I have a whizzer. So I'm gonna show you what to do here when they whizzer. Very simple. So we're here, I'm defending, give me weight, defending, get my underhook back, whoa, my hand's cutting your gi. Underhook back and he whizzers, okay? I'm gonna pinch my elbow down like this to trap it, and I'm just gonna dive and roll. This way, very easy. Okay? Which is, by the way, it's the same thing I would do if he had a darce, okay? So he's got the overhook. I want to not let him post with that arm. So I'm going to go from an internal rotation, taking his weight off me, to an external rotation, palm up. Now his hand's trapped for a second. Try and get your arm back. Good. And then I reach between the legs, and as I reach between the legs, I roll. And as soon as my hips get under, it doesn't take much energy. With an easy turnover there. Okay? Now I want to be careful about getting punched in the face. So I'm defending that cross face, get my underhook back. You can notice that I'm diving my head in there right away. I'm not going to hang out in that crunched up position. I'm not going for a deep half, I'm going for the roll. This is a perfect time for us to show the darce counter because it's no different. Okay, so if I come under the arm and choke across the back, that's an anaconda. If you come around the neck and choke over the back, that's a darce choke. And there's all kinds of variations of it. There are people who are really good at it, black belts and whatnot. Eddie's pretty good at it here. Anytime you're going with somebody that's good at it, you have to be wary, as you should always be wary. No, just stay where you are. You have to be wary of people's hands touching your neck, right? That's just like good general wrestling. Anytime someone touches your neck or your chin, you should be concerned about that. You should address that, right? So that's always a threat. Same thing with guys who are very good at the guillotine. People will get lazy and let them put one hand on here, and then it's too late. You always have to be mindful of that stuff, okay? But the choke, in case you guys don't know, it's very simple, is I just need to reach underneath to grab his neck. And if my arms are long enough that I can do it, and or his body's in such a position, right, that you can feed all the way through to here, then I put my hand on my bicep, I grab his back up high, and then I just sink my weight. And that becomes a blood choke, okay? I don't want to focus on teaching you guys the darce. I don't think that's a super important thing to do right now. I just want to show you the counter, because it's identical to what we're doing. Okay, so we're here. I get my underhook back, he whizzers, and I can feel him, he's going in for the darce, right? So he starts to reach for my neck. So yeah, hard when my arms are that much longer, but that's the motion. Yes, that's what he would want to do. So go back. So as I feel him reaching, I'm going to take my overhook hand and I'm going to grab his own hand. Lift up so everybody can see. And this is my grip. That's the grip, okay? Now I'm just like I'm going to shake hands with him. I'm going to execute that same roll just as I did before. So the only difference, the first one I pinch down here, the second one, darce, you feel those fingers on your neck, you're like, whoa, reach in and grab that hand. Everything else is exactly the same. Okay, keep going. What's important about the roll is that you're getting your hips underneath their hips, and then you're going from your right hip to your left hip, which you can do with what's called a reverse shrimp, or you can do with a roll like this. And it's a powerful movement, but what makes it work is me getting underneath Liam. Okay, so that's why I'm diving this hand down there. If I try and do it from here, it may or may not work. Imagine that, visualize somebody much bigger and heavier than you. It can be difficult. But when I go here, see what happens here? my hips get underneath him. That's the whole, once my hips get underneath him, then this becomes easy. So the reason why I'm diving in here isn't so much because of the grip. The grip doesn't matter. You could not grab there and be fine. It's to get this motion with my hips. I'm trying to get my hips underneath the guy, and then when my hips are underneath him, then I can sweep him, okay? Now I'm gonna show you one more thing, and then we're gonna drill, which is what we started with, the back take. So we're here, right? I get my underhook, and now instead of whizzering, he's hanging on. So I'm looking to go here to get to my elbow, and I'm looking to take his back. And right before I can go here, he starts to drive into me. Anytime the guy's trying to drive into me and flatten me, I'll take that roll, okay? He could potentially post there because I don't have the arm trapped, right? But usually when guys are driving, or maybe take the whizzer and try and flatten me out. See, he's trying to go this way anyway. That's the perfect time to do the roll. So I'm just gonna resist for a second, and then I'm gonna let it go. And then there's gonna be your roll. Okay, so anytime you're on bottom and you feel them driving into you, that's the perfect time for that sweep.